four brothers from Russia. We came to the United States 16 years ago.
We never set out to be a band, but it was kind of in our genes.
Yeah, it was pretty ingrained.
There's this video that we watched a couple of years ago. We're all playing the piano. Like, well, you weren't, because you were like 1.
And Nikita's attempting to write.
But I was trying to write this little song, and I must be like 5 or something. Yeah. And I'm trying to write this song, and Ruslan's standing there, and he's got this big hole in his sock that he's picking, and it's just this funny video. It's like, oh my gosh, like,
life.
There we are.
Different.
We were 4 or 5 years old, like fighting over the piano.
I remember we were recently looking back at a video where we had a big family reunion back in Russia, and Nikita was like 4 years old. He got on the table and he was doing like a concert for everybody with a fork and singing this famous Russian song. Yeah, something like there's one woman for me in this world, or so ridiculous. Playing piano was required in our house. My mom, as soon as you turned 7 years old, my mom would set you up an appointment with Grandma. And Grandma would come over to your birthday party, and right after you'd go and take
your first piano lesson.
And you know, we all took classical piano for at least 4 or 5 years each before we started playing any other instruments.
Well, we were all born in the same city in Pyatigorsk, Russia. My parents listened to the radio, and there weren't any Christian stations in the country, but American churches and missionaries would set up these stations across the border, and they'd broadcast into Russia behind the Iron Curtain. And the communists would try to jam out these signals. They'd try to block them out and put noise in there. But occasionally the gospel would come through, you know, either songs or testimonies or preaching, whatever. And my parents would be sitting there trying to find it, and they've suffered a lot of oppression and persecution. I mean, just my grandmother, it's not even like my great, you know, it's my grandma. She, when she became a Christian, she was in her late 20s. She was a teacher. She came to the principal and she said, hey, I have to tell you, like, the love of God is changing my life. And she's like, what? You really just told me that? And she fired her on the spot.
It was scary for my parents. Like, even looking back at it now, I can't imagine what it's like selling everything you have and fitting whatever you have into suitcases that you can carry on a plane. You know, buy a ticket, come to a completely different culture, not knowing the language, not knowing the culture, not knowing what it's like in this new country, and starting completely from ground zero with 4 children. It's kind of a surreal thought for me, and that, you know, I'm super thankful that my parents did that for us.
Absolutely. Here I am, Lord, send me. I won't look back, 'cause I was made to be a part of the impossible.
Just knowing that our music is going to be heard clearly in this country, Europe, all over the world, is really coming full circle.
You know, we're 4 Russian immigrants. You know, we came to the United States with our family in 1996. It's just so surreal to think about where we came from and the kind of life that we had as a family in Russia compared to where we are now and where God has brought us. It's really an impossible story, and it's a God story.